Top 5. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here today, please remember to smash that subscribe button. And for all my returning subscribers, welcome to another video by your ultimate fave. Oh yeah, guys, I got so many reviews to do this TV recap, and to be really honest with you guys, anyway guys, welcome back to another TV recap hosted by your ultimate fave. Now you guys know that I do a lot of TV recaps on the reality shows that are happening in Saudi. But before we do that, I just want to give a big shout out to my wig from Honeycomb Hair SA. Now Honeycomb Hair is a hair brand that was started by Pamela Tanger, and I saw the girlies wearing this hair frontal and I was like, oh my god, I needed to have it. And then I went there obviously with the intention to buy, and I ended up buying 2 wigs. So I bought this and a curly one. But honestly guys, I haven't done a fringe in so long. I think the last time I did a fringe was literally in 2020. You guys remember I had that multicolored fringe. So it was kind of nice to see how it looks. Initially when I went to go get the wig, I didn't like how it looked on me. I thought that maybe I don't have a big forehead, so it made me look a little bit funny when I didn't have makeup on. But now that I put makeup on, I'm absolutely in love with this wig. I definitely think it's a statement wig. I want to call it a statement piece, but it's a statement wig and it's something that I truly love. You guys know me, I'm always trying. No, I'm actually a liar. I never try anything new. But I wanted to try something new. I wanted to be fresh, move away from color, go back to black. And I heard a lot of great reviews about Honeycomb Hair SA. So I decided to purchase some wigs. So you guys will be seeing me in another curly wig review. But shout out to them, check them out. And just so you guys know, this is actually on sale right now. So if you use the coupon code, you can actually get, if not 10%, then 20% off. So guys, go support, show people some love. I'm all about black women really being empowered, and I was really excited when Pamela dropped her line, so I'll definitely be supporting her quite a bit. And her prices are reasonable. This one was 3.2. And to be really honest with you, the hair is soft, it's luxe, it feels really good. But this is not a hair review. This is a TV review, a reality TV show review. And when you guys know that I do reviews, I'm gonna have to give it my all. Before we start, okay, so now you guys have all seen this new show called The Mommy Club. And quick disclaimer to the ladies, okay, I'm doing my job. Like, I do this for free. I ain't getting paid to do this, so I'm gonna drag all y'all for filth. I've dragged everybody on reality TV for filth, and you guys are you're not about that, okay? So there was this new show by Showmax called The Mommy Club. Side note, I really think that the Real Housewives of Johannesburg needs to jump onto Showmax, because I find myself missing it when it's on TV. Like, I haven't even gotten a chance to watch it because I've moved away from TV so much. So if you guys, Sonia, Showmax, you guys have heard of this new show called The Mommy Club. And now The Mommy Club is a reality TV set in the heart of Johannesburg, the city of gold, where it follows, I think, about 5 or 6 young ladies. Now with every TV recap, you guys know that the very first TV recap I normally do is a character breakdown, just to kind of get a feel of what I think of each of the ladies in question. It's been running for the past month now. And to be really honest, I didn't really get around to watching it because it didn't actually strike me as something that was entertaining. But surprisingly, off the bat from episode 1, there was drama, which then makes me believe that when I say if you can't catch me from episode 1, then it's highly unlikely that I will watch it if it's a reality TV show. So I will say that I actually got around to watching it. My subscribers asked me for a TV review, and now I'm going to give you guys character breakdown, what I think of the ladies, as well as what I think of the show in its entirety. Well, at least from episode 1 to episode 4. Alright, so it's set in the city of gold. It follows basically housewives, but more so these ladies who are moms, who basically share and give us an in-depth, look into their lives with their children. And it's not more so centered around like a housewife. It's basically housewives, but with Mommy Club stamp on it, which I think was the first thing for me that I picked up. I was like, nothing about this is truly kid-centered. However, I think the aspect of obviously having the nannies and the nannies getting their own diary sessions, that was pretty cool. That was pretty nice. So let's start with the character breakdown, and then let's kind of unpack the episodes, right? Now, the first person we're going to talk about is obviously none other than Mrs. Mops. It's Mrs. Mops, honey. Now, you guys know Mrs. Mops from the previous Real Housewives of Johannesburg, and right after basically her debut on reality TV, she never went back to the Real Housewives of Johannesburg. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that on the last reunion, Brunette allegedly accused Mrs. Mops of cheating on her husband. So I think obviously from Mrs. Mops' end, she decided, nah, cut, it's dirty, I don't know what the hell is going on. But off the bat, she definitely is the central focus. She's the Beyonce of the squad. She's the introduce everybody around. But can I just say, I genuinely warmed up to Mrs. Mops in Real Housewives of Johannesburg. But there's something about her in the show, for me, and this is for me personally, that's off-putting. And I don't know if it's maybe the mannerisms of what she says about the other ladies in her diary sessions. Now, bear in mind, even the most reality TV show is very scripted. We've seen that with all the reality TV shows. So I just didn't understand if, because we need to bring out the spice, that there needs to be those little digs at one another. Those little digs are cute for Real Housewives. I didn't really enjoy the digs on the Mommy Club. You know what I mean? But overall, she's definitely in the top 3 of the characters that I'm enjoying. I don't know if she's number 1 yet. I do like her. I feel like she's definitely the glue of the group, bringing everybody together. However, like I said, there's just something that's very weirdly off-putting about some of the things that she says about the ladies. So like, for example, she was like, Her Majesty came in an all-black dress and a Chanel theme, and she was like, cringe. Like, she does very weird things to me that I would be like, If I had to watch back and I was shooting that with you and you said all that stuff, you'd probably catch a block, unblock. I feel like I'm not interested. But then again, she's bringing the spice onto the show. Really like her, very elegant, very classy, got it all put together. Definitely hosting tea parties, having the girls for lunch. Chanel. Yeah! Guys, Amatweng eswazile gule show. Amatweng eswazile gula show. Now, don't hate me, Mrs. Mops. I love you so much, ne? I love you so much. But I know for a fact that you've got a high-pitched voice because I watched you on Real Housewives of South Africa. Johannesburg, there we go. But Leia manje, le. What's going on? What's going on here? You know, like, or maybe, I know. Maybe that is generally how she speaks, but I don't know about you guys, but something about it is giving nose in the air, tea, bend, Bridgerton, lady, my lord, you know? But anyway, it hasn't been as, you know, weird to me as her actions. Don't really care about the twang, don't really care about the speaking in some sort of magnificent English with big words like malevolent and magnanimity and superfragilcalixicexpialidocious. Like, I don't care, right? But anyway, she's definitely in my top 3. She's not number 1 though. I haven't kind of put my foot on who I like the most. So Mrs. Mops is the one who's married to Mr. Mops, whom I've heard word on the street is he ain't just no millionaire, he might be a billionaire, sure. Because you guys heard that obviously she's in cyber or like security. So like her, haven't had a problem with her. I do think that she's obviously been designed to poke the ladies, of which is fine. She hasn't really went beyond, like, beyond for me to say, wazala. Yeah, but so we're not gonna drag you today, Mrs. Mops. We're we're not gonna drag you today. We're just gonna let you be. But once you start not acting like a lady, we're gonna send you to go sit with the kids and the nannies because you clearly don't know how to act. But for now, you still have a seat at the table. The next lady that I really want to talk about is xoxo Manche. Now, xoxo Manche, otherwise known as Miss Munch. I don't know how to say it. Now, I've known Miss Munch for what, maybe over a decade. Now, I think out of all those ladies, Miss Munch is the most popular one. And I know it's going to be a debate of, oh, but also, and who's the other girl? Whoa. When it comes to luxury, when it comes to being known for being at the top, Miss Munch has always been number one, you know? You guys obviously know she was good friends with Kifilo Mabote. Miss Munch has definitely always been luxurious. She's always had her own clothing line called Miss Munch. But I've always known Miss Munch as the fashionista, the trendsetter, the popular one. She's definitely gained, and I wouldn't want to call it notoriety because it's not anything from a bad place. And then she stopped being friends with her supposed best friend. She then went a little bit under the grid for some time and then came back, wham bam, thank you ma'am, dating this man, on which we're gonna touch on these things, right? Dating this guy who well, married to him, actually, that's her husband, married to Mr. Adiwele, I think, because I don't know his name. Married to Mr. Adiwele, and now they have 3 beautiful children. She's also clearly got a twang. Guys, we know you guys in real life, I guess. But and another thing, side note, Miss Munch is insanely gorgeous. Like, insanely gorgeous. I've been following her for years on Instagram. There was even a point where I thought she blocked me. Guys, here's my Miss Munch. When I get you, there was even a point where I thought Miss Munch blocked me. It has a lot to do with Drake, mara as pumen lap. Because with Drake and Jay, with Drake, so that's Miss Munch. She has her beautiful kids, and she's definitely like the socialite of the group, in my opinion. The next person that I want us to touch on is none other than Ratile, I think. Yeah, Ratile is the one who's got 5 kids, and I think she's got 2 stepkids with her current husband, and then she's got 3 kids of her own. So that's her as well. I really haven't kind of gotten a chance to nitpick who she is and what she does. She does seem like the type of woman who has a lot of sass to her, and I think throughout the upcoming episodes we're gonna see her bark very, very soon, because I've watched some of her diary sessions and I'm like, she's got a clear head on her shoulders. Like, she thinks like how I think, and I'll explain why I say that. When they had the what is this, the sit down with Her Majesty, where Her Majesty said black cat, and she was like, okay, weird, cringe. And also when she had the sit down with Miss Munch, I like her, and she's definitely in my top 3. She is in my top 3. There's something about her demeanor that says, you know what, I'm a grown-up, I'm not gonna get involved. However, don't test me. But there is something about her that I don't necessarily find myself enjoying, and I don't know what it is. No, but I think I know what it is. Then the next person that we've got on there is Omuhlekela. No, even like Omuhlekela, she's like the second last one. The next person we've got there is Nunurai. Now Nunurai is, I think, Nunurai is not Nigerian. I think she's married to a Nigerian man, but she's not Nigerian. Nunurai is married to her husband, and I think she's also got 3 kids. She's definitely in the events planning space. Now, off the bat, I liked Nunurai's energy. That's definitely why she's also in my top 3. I liked Nunurai's energy. There are certain elements that I was just like, girl, stand up. But I like her so far, fairly good. Then we've got Omuhlekela. You guys know Omuhlekela. She is an actress by profession. Yeah, Omuhlekela actor. She's a socialite. She's a very big deal this side. But I think her core profession was, if not is, acting. So Omuhle is also very, very popular. Also, Omuhle fucking gorgeous, like with the brown eyes. And she's also got that like poised demeanor, man. Now, I don't know if I've ever bumped into Omuhle in public. I think I may have seen her, but I don't know her personally. Obviously, us being in the same industry doesn't mean we'll ever be seen in the same spaces. But I'm trying to jog my memory to remember the kind of person she is, or if she's acting out of character, but I can't say, and I don't think so. So she's also someone whose character or whose role in the show is still yet to be revealed. But I'm already liking off the bat what I'm seeing, you know, can't say anything bad. You guys obviously know Omuhle has her own scandals on social media, and let's not call them scandals, that's a bit too far-fetched. She has had her own fair share of social media in her private space. So there is a lot more that we know about Omuhle and Miss Munch in comparison to what we know about the other ladies. And that's just because of who they are, you know? So she's also someone whose character I really would like to see develop. It's quite nice. Then the next person we have is Her Majesty, who's also known as Hepisimelane. Now guys, I know you guys are not going to agree with what I'm saying. I know you guys are not going to agree with what I'm saying. But I'm going to say it anyway. Hepisimelane is reality TV gold. Gold! I mean, she's horrendous. She's horrendous, but we'll get to that. She's definitely not in my top 3 favorite. But when I say that she has held down each and every single episode up till this point, she's basically carrying that whole show. She is carrying that whole show. Like, without Happy, it would just be another group of women having very aimless conversations over lunch, being very, you know, in the dark. When I tell you that someone is so vulnerable and open with a platform as big as that, that's what we want to see on reality TV. I mean, already off episode 1, we touched on Tammy Taylor. We touched on her husband. That's what we want to see, okay? And also, let's touch on production. Production was amazing. I really like how it was shot. Very HD, crisp, whatever. Now, guys. Now, guys. Happy. Tlogela o bitsa bana di kebereshi. Tlogela o bitsa bana ba batho di kebereshi. Tlogela o bitsa bana ba batho di eng di trampo di eng. You know? Because you guys obviously saw how episode 1 played out. I'm not going to touch on each and every single thing. I'm just going to touch on what we want to talk about. Episode 1, I think, was the icebreaker, the oh shit, you know, because in episode 1 it was when they were hosting thingy's party, not Noah, Zidane's first birthday party. So everybody was just kind of in the groove, getting to know each other. And in episode 1, I like how Happy went straight to the point, addressing the things that we all wanted to know. Okay, now word on the street is she is allegedly she is a scammer, okay? But what are we gonna say, dude? Like, in this economy, in Cyril's economy, you can't really survive if you don't like scam your way to the top. Kidding, not sure. However, what I read after episode 1 came out was that her and her husband were running something similar to what was called a Ponzi scheme, okay? Something that was basically luring people to deposit money, but the money wasn't coming out, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't know if legal action has been taken against her, which I think was quite scary, because you guys know that whenever someone has a lot of skeletons in the closet and they appear on reality TV, it's almost bound to like roll into a snowball of things and come crashing down, okay? And I mean, also, if you're going to showcase your lavish lifestyle, knowing very well that there are people who are after you, then it doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm saying allegedly, because I don't remember ever reading up on the Ponzi scheme thing. I heard about the Tammy Taylor thing with Carte Blanche and what's this, Mal Viljoen and Piet Viljoen. She was obviously one of the people who definitely wanted to make it known that she was bamboozled out of a Tammy Taylor franchise. Now, I like that. I'm not even gonna lie. I would hate to lie to you guys and say that I'm not enjoying Hepisimelane. Do I think she is a little bit crass? She's horrible to her children? Yes, I do. I think she is. And it irks me so much, because it's kind of like a, I want to figure out if this is coming from a malicious place or this is generally how you speak about people to people. Like, maybe how about quality because was so all the time. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys, my mom, my real mom, okay? She was the sweetest woman ever, loved me to death, but that lady knew how to cuss me the F out, okay? That lady, and there's nothing you can do. That's your mama. You know, you obviously don't like those things. And I think the first thing that really concerned me is how she spoke to the baby, how she spoke to Paris. I was like, I shut up. I'm like, Batung, happy. What's our first look? It's our first. But now, here's where I'm really on the fence. Because the same way she talks to other people's kids, she talks to her own kids. Now, is that a lack of decorum? Of course. Is that going to make her look bad? Of course. But at least she's maintaining the same energy. I would be so confused if she treated her children like eggs and then turned around and said someone else's child is wild. I mean, we can't do that. We're hypocrites generally as human beings. But what I need us to pick up here is that Happy Simelani's energy is exactly the same to everybody, okay? But we're gonna see things unfold a little bit. She's definitely not in, I don't know if she is my favorite. I don't know. I think Ish Maranawi. You know, it's very hard to defend someone when they are just downright rude, but it's also hard to not say that she is the moment. You know what I mean? When she spoke about how her husband passed. Guys, did that story come out on the blogs? Did that story come out on the blogs? Because I saw the blogs commenting and I saw, obviously when the whole story came out, they then started backtracking to who's her husband, what happened, who was he with, how did it play out. So she has a sit down with Nunurai and Ratile, and she obviously explains the concept of her husband passing on and how her husband in the car at that time was traveling with his mistress. Oh guys, Ningashona. You know, it's so funny because I've had something similar happen to me, but I obviously found out through people and mine was just a lot worse. I mean, it could have been fatal, but thank the heavens that no one was hurt. I have a love-hate relationship with Her Majesty. I think she's so rude. How she speaks about people is just so wrong. How she speaks to people is just wrong. But I also feel like she is carrying the show on her back. Now, happy. Now, obviously, I'm aware that people cheat, and I'm aware that you're grieving and you're upset and you're filled with a lot of rage, and it's justifiable because realizing what your husband was doing moments before his death is a tragic thing that could happen, and getting over that kind of hurt is a lot. And we all know the 5 steps to healing. It's grief, it's anger, it's denial, it's hurt, it's compromise, it's all that. So I sympathize with you so much. But also guys, okay, I don't know what she called her. This is like, don't go with what I'm saying verbatim, but I know she referred to the mistress as a derogatory term in colloquial language. I mean, bear in mind here, guys, initially I was kind of bored watching the show. I was kind of bored, but towards the end, where the drama started unfolding, that's when I actually started listening, where they went to La Parada. Now, she did explain earlier on in episode 1 what had happened to her husband, but she didn't go into detail, because what I wanted to find out was, did she already tell the ladies that, oh, my husband was in the car with his mistress? I don't think so. She only told Nunurai and Radil. Now, this is what I dislike about Nunurai. Nunurai takes that thing, right? You topa stompi sale, and you go and you tell Miss Munch. You go and you tell Miss Munch, you go and have a fat chat about it. I mean, obviously it's not like you and Miss Munch were laughing about it all the way over there, but you go and you tell Miss Munch, and then you turn around and say, but that was not the context and what was said. No, right, Mama, Was it not gossiping? Are you not a grown-up? If you're going to be able to gossip on national television where we can run back the tape, you should be able to say what you're saying with your chest 10 toes in the sand. You know, I hate it for you so much. Like, I hate it for you because you actually did tell Tsecho about the fact that the husband was in the car with his mistress. You had a conversation about it to obviously, to what I believe, build some sort of allegiance. And yeah, it makes you look shady. It makes you look a little bit, you know, I'm also really side-eyeing you at this point. I'm not really feeling you, because the thing is, when now it is called out, you're now shouting, you're yelling, and you're doing all that other stuff. And let me tell you something, Nunurai. What you're not gonna do, is distribute the tabataka and then shout at me and say, no, but no, this is how I talk. Fuck off. You can't take something so intimate about me, go and have a fat discussion about it, and then somehow be very rude and aggressive and abrasive when you're confronted. Because at the end of the day, where did Miss Manch hear it? Where did she hear it? She sure as hell didn't hear it from Ratile. You know what I mean? So that's why, Nunurai, I like you, but I'm also getting a bit of kiss-assy behavior from you. I'm getting a bit of, you know, wanna be kiki haha with everyone, which is fine. You guys just all met. You don't have to hate each other. But I disliked the fact that when you were confronted and you were told that you took something that wasn't your story to share, and you shared it, but then now you want to fight on some, no, the context, but you had already told people about your husband, da, 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 da. No, don't do that. Happy was being emotional, okay? I mean, happy. Hey, now we get so defend. And then I think the next thing that we probably are going to touch on is on episode 1. Now, guys, we can't make Happy Angelos. She's not an angel. She's not innocent at all, because she did the same thing. I mean, she ambushed Omuhle, in my opinion. You can't sit down and say you want to talk to someone. You get there, okay, Omuhle invites Miss Mops. Makes sense, because Miss Mops and Omuhle get a bosom. Mara, I think Bahlakani look on social media. Also, these friendships that you claim you have, Miss Mops. I think if you're gonna lie, I need you to be a better liar, because you can't say that, oh, I called Nunurai for the first time and I thought it was a bit inappropriate that she called me babe when she doesn't even know me. You literally called babe, unless then it would make everything you're saying a lie, because you said you know Tejo via social media, that being Instagram. You guys have been DMing each other for years, laughing, sharing, and then when she came to your house, she said hi babe, hi doll, hi love, and you didn't give her the same grace. Miss Mobs, I'm gonna need you, if you're gonna keep the energy for everybody. Like, keep the energy for everybody. Miss Mobs has made it very clear who she messes with and who she doesn't mess with, which is fine, which is perfectly fine, harahani. But give the same energy to everybody. You also don't know Omuhle. You know them through social media. These are not your friends. Well, maybe they're your friends now, I don't know. But you can give them slack, and then Nunurai says hi babe, and all of a sudden it's you don't know me, I'm just the client. You guys are on an entire reality TV show. You guys were bound to meet anyway. You can't tell me that babe is a big deal. That actually irritated me, because I was listening to how she interacts with Bomis Manch in comparison to how she interacts with Nunurai. Also, when Happy said, can I bring Ratile? That part I understood. That was a little bit off. Happy has a tendency of overstepping her boundaries. Like, for example, putting out the story about Omuhle without Omuhle's consent. Batong, Nsadi. Okay, so that probably transpired on social media. I didn't even see that. I'm only seeing it now. But I also felt like Happy also oversteps her boundaries quite a bit. She definitely wants to have a sit down, talk about the whole saga, and Omuhle doesn't want to talk about it. And you guys are not friends like that for you to want to have a sit down, Lena, and talk about things like that. I mean, when Omuhle said you could have texted me, granted, Omuhle, she could have texted you, but the flip side of the coin is that we want to know, and Happy is definitely bringing to light all the things we want to know. So I'm a bit on the fence, because I'm just like, If Happy wasn't on the show, would all the things that are playing out now in the first 4 episodes have continued? Would they have continued to play out that way? Because she's currently beefing with xoxo. She's now, as far as we're concerned, beefing with Nunurai. She doesn't take shit. She tells things for what it is, and she doesn't seem like a pushover, which is what I like. But yeah, I just can't stand her persona. Like, I think as much as I can like the fact that she's made for reality TV and she keeps me watching, I just don't like her condescending tone. Her, he cheated on Beyonce. Okay, guys, we're all Beyonce in our partner's eyes. You know what I mean? I mean, I've definitely got that Beyonce fringe back in the deja vu days, you know? That's why I'm on the fence. I think, Nunurai, you've definitely lost brownie points for that. I think you were just supposed to be a woman about it and say, you know what, I did tell her. I didn't realize that this was something you were hiding, considering that you've already told the ladies that, you know, your husband is passed, but maybe that's my bad, type of thing. Then Nunurai can now commence her beef with xoxo. Now, the second aspect of the first few episodes that I've been watching is about xoxo's son licking the cake. You guys know this is my job. I don't hate you guys in real life. I don't hate you guys in real life. Like, I'm just relaying what we all think. Now, xoxo, Miss Manch, you have every right to defend your kids through and through, 100%. You have every right to feel some type of way about things like that. Do I believe that, yeah, Happy took it too far? Yes! Yes, Happy took it too far. Yes, what Happy was wrong for saying the kid is wild. You know? We're at a safari though. We're in the wild. Now, personally for me, this is where I'm also just a little bit unsure. Now, if someone said that to my kid, it would have irritated me, but it definitely wouldn't have set me off like the way it set off Miss Munch. He's a child. Yes, harahani. Children are going to do what children want to do. They're kids. They really, kids have an innocent mind. They don't think anything they're doing is wrong unless they're taught the consequences of the actions that, you know, they portray. It's like, for example, if a kid keeps petting a dog, the dog will bite, the kid will cry, and the kid will then know. Or if you're there and say, no, don't leave that alone, you know? Now, that's that scene where I wasn't sure if Munch was overlooking her child or what had happened, but Noah went and licked the cake. Her Majesty called the kid wild, and it obviously set xoxo off. Of which you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I feel like she blew it out of proportion. Like, I feel like what Miss Munch said was valid. He's 5. Next year grade 1. Next year grade 1, my friend. Next year 1 on 6. I mean, I don't know the toddler stages, but there is no way you want people to train their children to behave in a certain manner in public, and then your children, obviously that's your household, how you raise them, but then go off when people don't share the same sentiments, you know? Like, obviously none of the other kids went to go lick the cake. You know why? Because they were probably taught not to lick the cake, maybe conditioned, you know. As kids, we all get taught, you know, we learn to walk, we get taught to stay away from plugs, we get taught to stay away from knives. Like, we teach our kids certain elements. Now, what pisses me off is that, and it's I'm gonna need to drag you for this, what your son did was wrong, okay? And at no point did you feel it necessary to apologize to Nunurai and say, you know what, I'm so sorry on Noah's behalf. You know, I know he licked the cake. He's a child. But I'm a shoni, guys. People have to eat that cake. Now we mustn't care because Noah fitli la like a cake. I don't know if Noah naja mobu before that. I don't know if Noah topile sweetie costrateng. People are supposed to eat that cake. And now you're sitting here and you want everybody to understand because your child is a toddler. Turn it on! Turn it on! I'm sorry, you don't have a leg to stand on, in my opinion. You have every right to feel some type of way about what was said, but you also have the accountability to say that, oh, also when my child licked the cake, that was a bit embarrassing. Because how come bana babang don't have to how come bana babang bona they're not supposed to lick the cake? And also, dude, just be mindful, this is someone's birthday. People are supposed to eat that cake. I completely understood. The term wild is so not a good term to use on a child, okay? It's a bit, no, you don't say that. Wang, understand? You don't say that. Yes, you're right, animals are wild, children are not wild. However, at no point throughout any of these episodes did I even see you remotely even feeling somewhat embarrassed. And that for me is a problem. That for me, I was just like, when Miss Mom said, but don't you think he was a little bit wild? I'm just like, but don't you? Girl. If Nelly birthday ya Noah, ya high. If it was his birthday, he can do whatever he wants. It's his cake. But it wasn't his birthday. And you are also, to a certain degree, supposed to take accountability for that. Take accountability, because those are your kids that you raised. You have every right to clock that tea about what people say about your kid, but you also have the responsibility to also say, hey, Luena Noah, how about you know? So I just felt that was a bit weird. I felt she blew it out of proportion. I felt she was pandering for sympathy. Like, she was like, oh no, kids are wild. And she's telling Miss Mobs, whomst they claim, get it choke. And then your friend says, don't you think it was a little bit wild? And you're like, what do you mean? And then she's like, yeah, to lick the cake. You're like, he's a toddler. And then Miss Mobs is like, but he's 5. And nothing in you is clicking. Like, nothing in you is clicking that, girl. Then you get upset and you throw water. And girl, you know, I was just trying to get my point across. Let me tell you something. If I was Miss Mops, or at least if I was married to a billionaire, and you threw water on me, I would ensure that at that restaurant, you're banned. If I had the power that Miss Mops has, I mean, she said, you spilled water on me, you short little bitch, you know? But if I had the power that Miss Mops had, and you spilled water on me that day, I'd ice you out. I'd ice you out. I would literally ice you out. Miss Mops is a better woman than me. Because first of all, you guys are not even the friends that you guys claim to be. Hell no. Unless I say pretend la rona, because you know reality isn't really reality. It's augmented imagination. You know? Is that what AI stands for? I'm not sure. So yeah, I think so far there are so many women not taking accountability for the things that they're saying, the things that are being passed around. Another thing that I picked up is Ratile. Ratile una lebo spice, man. Una lebo. Man, I can feel it too much, man. I haven't really found someone I can say I've warmed up to when it comes to all these women. I haven't found anybody I've warmed up to. Now, you know me, I tell shit like it is. No matter how bad it is, no matter how sad it is, no matter how cruel it is, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. And the only person who's really lived up to that, but she's not a favorite because of how she conducts herself when it, you know. So I think Ratile is also another person that I picked up a lot of shade, but it was a lot of cute shade. I mean, she's really pretty. And I remember there was, whoa, before Ratile. Yeah, no, I didn't Ratile because Ratile Ratile gives me shady vibes, but I feel like the shade is not disrespectful. The shade is, it is what it is, but it's not disrespectful because a lot of her shade has been done in her diary sessions, right? So there was a point where obviously she mentioned the whole black card thing. Happy, yeah, you know, and we took my black card. Why did you have to mention that? Why? I felt like some of her shade was warranted, but then I also felt like some of her shade was a bit invasive. Like when she invited Miss Munch over. But Miss Munch also, you know, she goes there, she goes to go speak to Ratile, right? She speaks to Ratile, they have very aimless conversations in my opinion. But the things that I did pick up were that they were subliminally throwing jabs at each other. Like Ratile was like, okay, so what happened between your friendship with Kifilo Mabote? You know? I mean, these people were like best of bombers. They were like family. Next minute, tugu tugu hofedile. But now you're the one who's shocked, asking, ooh, why is she asking that? Because you were on social media. Of course we want to know these things. Of course we want to know what happened. You can't sign up to a reality show and then get to filter out what you do and don't want to talk about. Granted, there are certain aspects of our private lives that we definitely don't want to touch on. Like, I know for one, I also don't like speaking about fallouts with friends. Like, if we fall out, let's fall out. What we do on social media is our own business. But I'm never going to come out and speak about, oh, this is how I fell out with who on a show. I don't want to speak about it. Let sleeping dogs lie. I wasn't mad at her response about the whole thing with Kifilo, but then there was also something else. There was also something else Ratile raised up, and I think it had to do with her husband. You know, her husband, not sure if it was about him being a foreign national, but hold on. I had to jog my memory a little bit. But I only remember the important ones. There was a point where Miss Munch went to Ratile's house, okay? And when she got there, she was already throwing jabs about the house looks rustic. The house is giving me Sun City vibes. And she's like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Okay, Ratile, well, I'm here to tell you it's not a compliment. She was not complimenting you under any sort of circumstance. You've got an uncle in the furniture business, Joshua Doe. Whoever you are dating is someone who is probably on his ailment right now. He's taking his tablets some Monday to Sunday. Okay, she definitely was not being nice about that. And the irony of that is that you are filming in another house that's not yours. Ajeletly, now I follow Miss Munch. Do I follow Miss Munch? I don't know if I follow Miss Munch. I don't think I ever. You know what? Let's double check. Miss Munch, hey. Miss Mancher? Yeah, I think I'm blocked. Guys, I'm totally. I'm totally. Like, nothing's appearing. So, yeah, I think I must have caught a block. Ox. Okay, so back to everything else. First and foremost, that was not a compliment. You know that wasn't a compliment, but the irony of it is that you're not even shooting in your own house, allegedly. Now, people who watched this episode, they were like, no, Tsago's not filming in her own house. We know what Tsago's house looks like, and that's not Tsago's house. So I found it particularly strange for her to throw that comment, knowing very well that you're not filming in your own house. But obviously you probably were under the guise that we wouldn't know. But unfortunately, if you're on social media, we are bound to know, and people are going to call you out for it. So it gave a little bit of superiority complex. It gave a little bit of, yeah, a big house is so hard to maintain, but yours is so well maintained. You know, the Airbnb that you guys are hiring right now to obviously look like a happy family. So that for me was a put off, because I'm just like, it's giving superiority complex. It's giving, you know, there's social media, and you know people know things about you, right? Like, people know you in real life, you know? It's a bit of a he without sin cast the first stone, you know? Obviously, judging by what we know about her partner and his line of work, which a lot of people actually surprisingly are familiar with this guy. I mean, I only found out who he was when the show started airing. Like, I had no idea who he was, no idea, nothing. All I knew is that at some point, Miss Munch moved to Dubai. So I found that a bit superiority complexy. I thought that was a very ironic thing to say. And if I was Ratile, I would be like, I'ma check that. But she did check you. I mean, but Ratile just doesn't have the clapbacks, you know? So Ratile asked about Kifilo Mabate, which I honestly think is a question I also would have asked. I would have asked that question if I knew that you were best friends with someone and then the best friend just fell off the grid, and you fell off the grid. Then you come back, you know, new, different, brand spanking new. Of course people are going to ask you. I really disliked her commentary about feeling like it was invasive. Of course it's invasive, but it's a reality show. That's what reality shows are. They are invasive. But anyway, it wasn't a big deal. But I think Ratile took it a smidgen too far. Now, I don't know how old Ratile is. I think she's probably, I'm not going to guess someone's age, but I'd like to think she's youthful because she said something that I also would have just been like, Ndala for Lantu Kulmayo. Like, okay. She said, how was it dating a Nigerian man? And then Miss Manch went into this really big, she didn't really go into this big thing, but she just started paraphrasing it as we're all Africans, yada, yada, yada. And then Ratile says, you know that there's a name for you guys. And she was like, okay, then Miss Manch was like, I'm not you guys, by the way, you know? And Ratile said, they call you guys Jolofina. I'm not gonna lie, Ratile lost brownie points after that. I was just like, girl, you got a house and 5 kids and a man old enough to basically, if you had made a few wrong mistakes back then. I was like, ugh. I was like, Ukula Nini, what are you doing on the blogs? Like, what are we, that's the first thing I picked up. I'm not even gonna lie. When she said, you know what the term for you guys is, Jolofina. That term developed on blogs. It developed on these spicy blogs that were saying things about people. So automatically Ratile lost points because first and foremost, 1, that is such a childish thing to say. 2, it's also derogatory. You know, and maybe this is the part where education is needed because you know good and well that that term is associated with a negative connotation. If Manch chose to be with a Nigerian man, all of a sudden you're saying, you know what people call you out there, Jolofina. You know what people call you? I mean, Sha, when did you meet your husband? If there's a 14-year age gap and you met him, what, at 22? He must have been 36. And I love how you just covered it up, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yeah, okay, sweetheart, okay. You know, why would you even say that? And I could see that Miss Manch was offended, which even made me a little bit more offended on her behalf. Because if anything, you should know that that's not a nice thing to say. Whether or not let's say for example, you don't like Nigerian men, you're asking how is it dating a Nigerian man? What the hell are you? Girl, shut up! Like, shut up! You guys don't have the same energy for dating European men. You don't have the same energy for dating men from America. But all of a sudden today, yeah, how is it dating a Nigerian man? Mama, so that for me, it gave a little bit insensitive. It gave a little bit immature. It gave a little bit, you of all people. Well, not even, yeah. Why would you ask me that? Why would you ask me that? If my husband was white, would you have asked that? If my husband was Italian, would you have asked that? You know? You probably would have asked, how did you guys meet? And what happened? I just felt like something about the way she was structuring that conversation was almost made to humiliate Miss Manch, or making her explain falling in love with a man who comes from another country. Come on. I didn't have a problem with her asking about the Nigerian man. I had a problem with her saying, do you know what they call you guys? Whether or not this is a term that's used, okay? I've also seen this term, and I've seen that it's not a term that's used from a pleasant, uplifting point of view. It's a term that's meant to say, or that's meant to insinuate that South African women date these men for a specific reason or a specific setup. And I think the insensitivity part comes in because this is her husband you're talking about. This is not her boyfriend. This is not someone who's courting her. This is her husband of her 3 kids. Like I said, this is why I feel like to a certain degree, a lot of these women, the decorum is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit, but then again, I guess Leana Miss Manch, for all the blunders she was making, Leana saying that about her house and actually saying it's giving Sun City vibes, girl, that wasn't even a compliment. She's basically saying, I think from that point, they both kind of rubbed each other up the wrong way, and I don't see them building that relationship. People that I see becoming close are Ratile and Miss Mops. I definitely see Ratile Omuhle Miss Mops kind of forming a thing together, whereas Happy seems like she's definitely trailblazing. And then you've got Nunurai and Miss Munch. That's how I kind of see the group being segregated right now, in a sense that, you know, people kind of like each other but don't really like each other. So far, I am enjoying the tea that comes with it. I am definitely enjoying it, but I do think that the women need to act like these grown, sophisticated women they are, or they might as well sit with their toddlers, with their nannies, if they want to act like kids. So yeah, guys, that's really how I feel about the show. So far, fairly okay. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I think things are definitely going to blow up. I think whoever strategized this group of women knew that this group of women have been in the public eye for some scandals or the other. So sooner or later, a top's gonna blow and people are gonna call each other out on this stuff. So it's only a matter of time, but I would give it a strong 7. It's a very strong contender. It's a kind of spin of Housewives, but totally better, 10 times better. I know that they'll probably delve deeper into certain aspects, like Omuhle's gotten off scot-free the past few episodes, but I don't know if she's a friend of the show or she's an actual main cast member of the show, because we don't see her in the intro. Maybe she is there, I just skip it a lot of the time. So yeah, guys, comment down below, let me know if you agree with me. But so far, if I'm ranking them according to who is the most problematic but also keeping us most entertained, I would say Miss Mop, Her Majesty, Miss Munch, Miss Mops, Nunurai, Ratile Omuhle. That's basically what I'm seeing in terms of the leaderboard. But anyway, comment down below, let me know if you think I went a little bit too hard, or if you think I should use this twang. Guys, le America, and come here. But it's fine, because I tend to speak like I'm British. Comment down below, let me know what you thought. But until then, I will see you guys on the next TV recap of The Mommy Club.